So let me tell you something. In order to understand what is happening right now, it's very important that we take a look at the past and history and those whose shoulders on which we stand, the people who came before us. And recounting what happened in history is not to place the blame on another race of people. It's just to acknowledge what happened so that we can move forward in a positive way. Any message that I send at this time, speaking on the past, when I mention white, I'm not talking about white people today. I'm talking about the white people of that time and whatever I'm speaking of. But I just wanted to focus on how the 13th Amendment and the Emancipation Proclamation was created to re-enslave black people and then paint them as criminals. Because I'm actually reading from The Souls of Black Folks. This book was written by W.E.B. Du Bois. I believe he was the first black graduate of Harvard. Love him. Another thing they try to do is say that him and Booker T. Washington was like rivals, but I don't believe that. I just think that they had two different points of view when it came to the what's the right word? To the revolution of black people after slavery. Like, I feel like they just had two different approaches. But W.E.B. Du Bois, hold on, y'all. So I'm going to be reading from The Souls of Black Folks, okay? It says the inevitable result of the emancipation was to increase crime and criminals, and that the police system of the South was primarily designed to control the slaves, okay? Then it goes on to say, for such dealing with criminals, white or black, the South had no machinery, no adequate jails, or reformatories. Its police system was arranged to deal with the blacks alone, and tactically assumed that every white man was in ipso facto a member of that police system. So pretty much the police system was pretty much created to control the slaves, the released slaves, aka black people, which can explain why, which can explain why black people are full, filling up the jails. The criminal justice system is full of black people. Why? Because it was designed to be that way. It says the police system of the South was originally designed to keep track of all Negroes, not simply criminals. And when the Negroes were freed and the whole South was convinced of the impossibility of free Negro labor, the first and almost universal device was to use the courts as a means of re-enslaving the blacks. Okay, and this book was written by W.E.B. Du Bois. I don't know what year, but it was probably a long time ago. But we can see that this system is still put in place today and is still thriving. And when people talk about white supremacy, right, we're not talking about white people of this time. We're talking about the white people who put a system or systematic racism. That's the word. Systematic racism is exactly what was defined in this book by W.E.B. Du Bois. Okay? When you think about something, a system, that is something that is put into place to keep something going. So this system was put in place back in the day, but it's still going right now in 2023. So when people try to say that there is no systematic racism, then that is bullshit and that is a lie. Is it white people's fault of today? No, and kind of yes. Because, no, it's not their fault. Let me say it's not their fault. But it is important that black and white people work together in order to break down this system, because it is unjustly and unfairly re-enslaving black people. Okay, and it's like we've already been through so much in this country, whether it was us or our ancestors, but our ancestors went through so much. So why should the descendants of the slaves have to be re-enslaved through the criminal justice system? Not only is that not fair, it's disgusting. And the fact that people try to act like that doesn't exist and that it's not happening is bullshit. So I just wanted to make this video to just let you be aware that a lot of the things that are happening right now was still happening in history. Okay, these things are still alive and well. And this is a direct example of systematic racism.